Keith VAZ on Talking Points, Lyca.
Welcome back. This is Keith VAZ on Talking Points on Lyca Radio. I don't know if you remember, but last year, in fact, exactly a year ago, I had a program dedicated to the SS Tilawa, the 1942 forgotten tragedy, the disappearance of a ship in the Indian Ocean on November the 20th, 1942. It was a passenger-cum-cargo liner owned by the British India Steel Navigation Company, and it set sail from the Mumbai docks en route to Mombasa, Maputo and Durban. On board were 958 passengers and crew, many of them Indian nationals, and a cargo of over 6,472 tons, including 60 tons of silver bullion. My second guest on the program is Emile Solanki, born in South London to Gujarati immigrant parents. He's 36 years of age and an executive in the life insurance industry. He's the managing director of a Toronto-based travel agency and founder of the Tilawa 1942 Heritage Productions. In fact, we would not know about this had it not been for the way in which he has campaigned, which has been brilliant. Let's go over to Toronto in Canada and talk to Emile Solanki. Good morning, Emile.
Well, good morning and greetings from Toronto to all of your listeners, Keith.
Thank you. Now, next Thursday is the 81st anniversary of the SS 1942 Tilawa, and you commemorated the 80th on Indian soil last year in Mumbai, and this year the 81st is going to be on British soil. Tell us why this particular event is so important.
Well, it's important, Keith, because it was a British Indian ship. It's a British Indian story. There are so many Indians in the UK that have come forward who are affected by the forgotten tragedy. Indeed, one of two survivors is still alive from South London. And originally, we wanted to have the commemoration at the National Maritime Museum, but it just wasn't the right time. And then this opportunity came up and we took it.
Now, can you tell our listeners, in terms of the numbers of survivors, you mentioned one or two, of the 958, how many survived this tragedy?
678 were rescued after floating in the middle of the Indian Ocean for 2 days by HMS Birmingham and SS Carthage. And then, going forward into present times, we were in contact with Mr. Chotu Kushal, who sadly passed away earlier this year at the ripe age of 98. And then we came across two other survivors, Mr. Arvind Baijani, who is now in his mid-80s. He is in South London. And then Mrs. Tej Prakash Mangat, who's in her mid-90s and coming all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, USA.
Now, you have been absolutely amazing. You have won praise from all over the world for the way in which you have pursued this. Next week, of course, we have the commemoration in London. We should really be commemorating you with some kind of special honour for what you have done. It's been absolutely amazing. Tell us exactly what's going to happen next week.
Well, at the Leopold Mueller Theatre at the National Maritime Museum, 138 people, by invitation only, it's going to be a packed house, will be part of a 2-hour program. We're going to have interviews with families connected to the Tilawa tragedy. We're going to hear from a curator from the museum. We're going to hear from the Maritime Mumbai Museum Society in India, who supported us last year. We're going to have some speeches from special guests. I will also participate in the event, and in all, it's going to be the first opportunity for families to come together to officially acknowledge the tragedy and to make an effort to memorialize the same. And especially in light of the fact that just 2 weeks ago, the British Deputy High Commissioner in Mumbai kept his promise from last year in laying a wreath in memorializing that lost life. And so to be able to now do similar in the UK next week is going to be special.
Now, Emile, we always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something important to them and to dedicate it to someone special. We asked you to do this last year, but we're asking again. Which song would you like to choose and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
Yes, what a great opportunity, Keith. Thank you. So the Tilawa tragedy took place in 1942, and there's a Bollywood movie called 1942, A Love Story, and one of the songs is called Ye Safar, the idea that you're on a journey of trauma, but that there is hope at the end of that journey. And so why don't we have this song play to your listeners and dedicated to all of the families connected to Tilawa and who will be attending the program either on stream, Zoom, or in person.
Emile Solanki, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know what the weather is like in Toronto today, but have a great Sunday.
Thank you very much, Keith. And again, we appreciate your generosity in giving our program and mission a voice, and greet again to all of your listeners in London.
Emile Solanki, the very best of luck for next year. Keep on with this amazing campaign. Let's hear Emile Solanki's song.